What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? I'm the right-winged angel, Oliver Mack, and in this video, we got to talk about Darrell Brooks. Now, if you don't remember, Darrell Brooks is the insane, racist, black supremacist who drove through a Christmas parade in Wisconsin, killing 6 people and injuring 60 more. His trial started last week, and it was full of newsworthy content, but of course, the news didn't cover it. Now, I wonder why. Was it because it wasn't a white person who killed a bunch of black people? Of course, that's the reason. But I'm going to review this case because I feel this is very relevant, and what's been going on has been a complete travesty of our justice system, but they're allowing it to happen. So let's check this out. So this is early on in the trial. This was on October 6th. So Darrell Brooks kept interrupting the judge. He actually showed up in his prison uniform. I guess you call it a uniform. He refused to wear a suit and tie, even though the judge advised him that it would be in his benefit or his best interest to wear a suit and tie. He didn't want to wear one, so he chose to wear his prison garb, and then he acted out and actually was removed. So let's hear what happened on October 6th of this trial.
I will further advise Mr. Brooks that his continued behavior, whether it be appearing in court in jail attire, whether it be causing disruptions in front of the jury, that he does all of those things at his peril. But I will, of course, take appropriate steps to limit what the jury can hear if appropriate. All right, I received a note we need to reset the Polycom system, so I'm not sure what that means. I'll find out, and if appropriate, make a record.
Okay, that's all you need to hear. So you saw that he had his shirt off. He was removed from the courtroom for continuously interrupting the judge. Now here, he actually starts to cry. So maybe he felt like he was not doing the right thing and felt bad, so he started to cry here.
Speaking, he's been able to competently represent himself and provide, again, solid cross-examination this morning. So I'm going to give him an opportunity to hopefully settle back in and to come back
there he's
here,
weeping. He's weeping like a little girl.
When we return from lunch. So with that, we are in recess. Probably come back at 1 o'clock since it's only 11:30, and we'll take the full 90 minutes for lunch today. All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Okay, obviously I have no sympathy for this deranged individual based on his actions and based on the fact that he had shown no remorse throughout this whole thing. He actually said that he started this off saying he was a sovereign citizen. I don't know if you guys are aware of that. Basically, sovereign citizens don't have to follow the rules of the country they're in. They're basically their own country in itself, which is absolutely insane, and only insane people would go about this type of argument. But after this, he kind of straightened himself out, and he put on his suit and tie and started to act like a lawyer. So I guess I didn't tell you this in the beginning. He's representing himself. He fired his legal team and he chose to represent himself in his own murder trial. So this is him actually, let me see. Yeah, he's actually cross-examining I think this is a detective in the case who came to the scene. So he's actually cross-examining him. And here you're going to hear him say that he does not identify as Darrell Brooks. Check it out.
Who is you?
Darrell Brooks, the defendant, seated at the table.
Let the record reflect that I do not identify by that name, nor do I know anybody by that name.
Your objection is noted.
So you heard a horn beeping.
That's all y'all need to hear from that. Yes, he does not identify by his own name. I don't know what he's trying to pull here, but I'm just surprised and shocked that the judge is allowing this to happen. The judge is allowing the person who is accused of killing 6 people and injuring 60 to not identify as his own name. I guess that's the crazy world that we live in, right? If a trans person doesn't have to identify as the name that's on their birth certificate, then why not? Why does Darrell Brooks, the accused murderer, have to identify by his name? It all makes sense, doesn't it? Absolutely insane. All right, let's check out the next clip. So this is him cross-examining the same police officer, and you can see how he's going to act, and how his demeanor is just it just boils my blood that a person who did what he did. Now we all know it. We saw him. There's a picture of him driving the car. We can see it's the same person, even though he cut off his dreadlocks and cut off his beard. We can see it's the exact same person. The side profile fits him to a T. We know he did it. There's no reason to really have this trial. We know he did it. Of course, we live in America. We have everybody's innocent until proven guilty, no matter what. So I get why we have this trial, but we know it's an open and shut case. We have his picture. We know he did it. But we're going to see how smug he is when he gets this answer from this police officer.
3 to 5 miles an hour is not very fast.
I think it's very fast when you're in a parade route, when there's hundreds of people marching in the road and a police officer isn't standing in front of your car, pounding on the hood, trying to get the vehicle to stop. I'd say that that's too fast. Any speed is too fast on a parade route when you have all those people in the roadway. A car should not have been there.
That wasn't the question, but thanks for the commentary.
Detective Casey, please just answer his questions. Attorney Acker will have an opportunity to redirect if necessary.
Well, you notice how smug he was in the response that he gave? That wasn't my question, but thanks for the commentary. Wow. He has no remorse for what he did. And I'm a strong believer of the death penalty. I'm sorry. But there are some individuals that are not redeemable. And it obviously seems like this individual is not redeemable. I mean, if you have somebody who's going to spend the rest of his life in prison, why do we have to hold up prison space for somebody who's not going anywhere? Pretty sure he's going to be convicted life in prison without the possibility of parole. So what's the point? Just let him go, right? I mean, that's just my opinion. You guys may have a different opinion about the death penalty or whatever, but I just feel like there's no need to hold up space in prison for murderers who have killed 6 people and injured 60 people, including children. There's no hope for him. He doesn't care about what he did, and you could see that. All right, one more clip. Now, in this clip, some of y'all, please don't damage your phones if you're watching this on your phones. Please don't damage your TVs, because this just might make your blood boil. This just might make you throw something, because this is actually one of the victim's fathers. Not one of the victims that died, but his kids were hurt by this man. They were injured by this man, and now this father has to take questions from the man who hurt his children. I cannot imagine being in that situation where I have to take questions from a monster like that, somebody who hurt my own children. So check it out.
Is it fair to say that right after that you ran straight to your vehicle?
Right after what?
Right after the incident.
There was a slight delay.
And what was that delay?
Seeing if our kids were okay.
And then from that, straight to the vehicle.
After the officer came running down the street saying shots fired, we picked up our kids and ran.
So you decided to leave after you heard an officer saying shots fired, or because of the incident at the parade?
After the officer said shots fired.
So would it be fair to say that you weren't initially inclined to leave because of the incident, but because of the shots fired?
Objection.
Grounds.
Overruled. He may answer. And then move on.
Could you repeat the question, please?
Would it be fair to say that you were prompted to leave because of the shots fired and not the incident that happened at the parade?
I don't really understand what you're asking.
What prompted you to leave?
When the officer said shots fired.
So the incident that happened didn't prompt you to leave?
No.
Grounds.
Overruled. He may answer if he understands the question.
We did not want to leave right away because my son said he couldn't feel his legs.
Wow.
And there was a woman there helping us that said he might have a back injury, that we should not move him.
Wow. I cannot imagine. I don't know if I would be able to hold it together up there. He's talking about he experienced his son not being able to feel his legs, and this man who did it is questioning him, trying to question his credibility. Well, why didn't you leave when the incident happened? Well, my son was injured. I couldn't move him. But if there's shots fired and there's a risk of him being shot, then I have to move him. I have no choice. But this is just amazing. Absolutely. I couldn't do it. Shout out to him for holding it together. But yeah, being questioned by the man who could have potentially killed your child, who injured your child, your two children. No, I don't know why we allowed this to happen. This man to represent himself and torment these witnesses, and people who are involved in this in this horrendous incident, to torment them even further by having them be questioned by this man. And it's clearly he has no remorse, zero remorse for what he did. He doesn't care. And we don't have a motive. We don't know why he did it. I don't know if we'll ever get to the bottom of that within this trial. Maybe, maybe not. It would be great if he just comes forward by the end of the trial and says, hey, you know what? I wanted to play lawyer, but at the end of the day, I'm guilty. I know what I did, and this is why I did it. It shouldn't have happened, but I was angry because of this. I had these issues, blah, 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 whatever. It really doesn't matter. But it'd be good to at least give the victim's family some peace of mind to know why this person took their loved one's life. But I mean, either way, this man should meet his maker soon after this trial is over, because they're gonna find him guilty. There's no way they can find him not guilty, based on the evidence that they have, based on the fact that we've seen him in the car. We know it's his car. They found it. He was in rap videos with the same car. There are witnesses that put him in the car. There's photos that show him in the car. We've all seen it. Everything is on video. That's the thing about detective work today. There's so many videos out there that we can actually pinpoint exactly who did it. And it doesn't take long for us to be able to do that. Now, if this was the 1960s and 70s, we don't have a lot of video. We don't know. We got to rely on eyewitnesses, and we don't have a lot of eyewitnesses. Then we're not going to get a clear open and shut case. So I'm glad that we have the tools and resources that we have today. Sometimes cell phones can be a blessing. Sometimes they can be a curse. But in this situation right here, it was definitely a blessing. Especially, I think we had street cameras that were filming the parade that were a blessing, that were able to capture everything, including the things that were really too gruesome to put on the internet. But at least the detectives and people working this case have that video readily available to them to show the jury exactly what happened and who's responsible. But this is crazy. But this is 2022. What else can you ask for in 2022? We have a person who killed 6 people and injured 60 representing himself. Just like we had Ted Bundy back in I think it was the 80s. Yeah, 80s, representing himself, a serial killer representing himself. And it kind of reminds me a little bit of that. I've seen the Ted Bundy documentary, and I saw his mannerisms and how he was pretty narcissistic in terms of the way that he was representing himself. And that's the same thing I see from Mr. Darrell Brooks. He's a narcissist as well. But that's what happens. A lot of narcissists end up becoming killers. So if you know a narcissist, be careful. You don't know what they're capable of. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please hit the like button, share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Get in that description section so you get links to my social media and also some awesome merch. All right, guys, I'll catch y'all in the next video. I'm out. Peace.